my front yard. I haven't shown it since last year. It's basically a tale of two gardens, failure and success. So this area here, I'm going to call the failure zone. Everything has struggled. I had some gardenias, 5 of them, 3 of them died. One was about 80% dead and one was maybe 50% dead. So they like acidic soils and I don't think I have that, so they're gone. These Lamandra are kind of flattened looking. That's because the cats are always messing around on them. My ferns, my holly ferns, you can see they're in shade now, but this area kind of it's a really weird spot. I can't quite peg what this is, but dry. So the holly ferns are looking really bad. The loropetalum that people were worried about have not even really grown at all. They're struggling. But over here it's doing great, so imagine that. I treat them the same and this area is doing amazing. This is kind of like my jungly area with the philodendron. I do have Nandina, this is the Gulf Stream. They've done okay. I really should have watered them more, so I'm going to take better care of the plants next year. But these philodendron are just blowing up, and that is called fire spike, Odontonema. I can't remember the full name, and so they've done really well. I have it's called hardy calathea. It's doing great. My cast iron plants are doing really well, and so are my Camidori radicalis. So this section is done. Oh, and pineapple guava, this is Feijoa celowiana, is done really well. And then my side yard, same thing. The ferns, kind of iffy. That one needs to go. But another philodendron I planted this year, and it is just growing. Look at the red underneath. There's another pineapple guava. I even have a fatsia. This is the only place I can grow fatsia. And a Chamaedorea microspadix that was planted as a very small plant. The cats knocked it over, so I'm gonna have to straighten that up. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those gardening mysteries. Like, why? I mean, I guess it's not a mystery. There's 3 big live oaks right here. Well, not big, but big enough. So they shade out the area. It doesn't quite get as much rain, and these are very thirsty trees. So I planted some Texas rock rose in this area. I just planted these maybe 3 weeks ago or something, and I need to water them more than I have. They're doing okay. This is a very tough plant. Can take part shade, part sun, that sort of thing. So these will grow. It's a short-lived perennial though. Get about 3 years and then they're done. However, they do throw a lot of seedlings at the base. So that area over there, let's look at the really sad. I grew some Hesperaloe here, and they didn't do well, and so I thought, well, maybe it's too shady. So I put in some Mahonias, Mahonia fortunei. Closer you get to the driveway, the sadder they look. So I'm digging these up, and same thing with the holly ferns, and I'm gonna put them in the shade, let them recover, and find somewhere in my backyard to plant them. But what I've decided to do is just kind of go with a easy plant, and I really hope that these do well. They don't need a lot of water. This is just Nerium oleander, and this is a dwarf variety, gets to about 4 feet. And this is petite salmon, not petite pink, but petite salmon. It's got a little bit of yellow. I really wanted white, but just wasn't able to find it. And it's such a good price on these. They were $5 each. So that's what I'm going to put here. So they should help to fill in the space between these Nandina firepower. I'm gonna water them. I've had really good luck with oleander. They grow it as a on the sides of the highways and stuff here, so you know it's tough as nails. I was just worried about if it's going to get enough sun, but we'll see. Because these areas, although they're in shade now, they get late day sun, and that kind of fries a lot of these plants. So anyway, we're going to try and plant it. This one here, I may not be able to get in because I know there's a lot of roots there. These two are going to be a bit of a struggle, but I think I can get them in. So I'll show you the final look. That's not my basketball net, by the way. But yeah, I mean, if you only looked at this, I mean, it looks great, right? So it's so funny how you can have one half that looks amazing and the other half, I mean, just looks pitiful. All right, so here we are. It's a couple hours later and removed all the plants that were struggling, gave everything a good drink. And I think it looks pretty good. These dwarf oleanders get to about 4 feet high and around. That's right around the height of those, well, maybe they're a little bit taller, those philodendron. I definitely think it looks a lot better. At least everything's green and fresh looking. You can see it has been getting sun in the area. It just kind of depends on what time of year, time of day, that sort of thing. Here are the dwarf oleanders. You can see they're getting baked in the hot afternoon sun. There's probably heat reflecting off all the concrete as well. So I think when I planted those mahonias, it was earlier in the year where this was a little bit more of a shady spot. Don't mind my shadow here. I'll give you a look from here. So I think that cleaned things up nicely, and hopefully I can get these plants to fill in a bit more next year so they can match those guys. A lot of these ones in here, if we get heavy frost or real cold, all of that, the philodendrons and that fire spike will get killed to the ground, but it comes back pretty fast. So that is my little scene front yard. So I ended up doing one more thing on the side here. I'm sure you can hear the air conditioners. Planted a trachycarpus in this spot because there's nothing here. And what I've done is on the other side of the fence, I planted one to the right and then one further down the fence on the same side. So I have a nice little trio here. Camedoria microspadix back up in its spot, and I'm thinking I'm gonna plant some carex here. This area, I know it's shaded right now, but in the summer it gets a lot more sun. The interesting thing is this area, even though we've had no rain, the ground is quite wet. There is a drain that runs through here. Both properties slope kind of down to where this fence is, and there's an underground pipe that channels water to the street, but this is very heavy, wet, mucky clay, so you know trachycarpus are going to love that. So I figured I'd put some carex here because they're pretty resilient. They can take very wet and very dry, full sun, all that sort of thing. So I may kind of plant 3 around this tree and do something here. I'm also considering bringing in some stepping stones, placing them in a staggered pattern. The whole reason I don't have anything here is technically I'm not allowed to. According to the HOA, I'm not allowed to have a path like that. So I put it in like this, so if anybody said anything, I could just say, well, it's a garden. But I have seen people with side paths with stepping stones, so I'm thinking of doing that here. I think it would look good, just give it a nice little bit more of hardscape structure. And so just a few more small things. There goes another air conditioner because it is hot. But right now I'm calling this my Oregon garden because these are all the plants that I grew in Oregon with reasonable success. Camodorrhea microspadics, they always look rough after winter, and you know, the monophyllum or philodendron, whatever you want to call it, they would usually get killed to the ground. But here, I mean, this thing is it's love and life in this spot, I tell you. It's surprising how much sun these things can take, but I think as long as they're getting enough water, then they're happy. So a few more tweaks to this little side area, and I'm gonna call it done.